I got two questions. First of all, it's great to meet you all. You're kind of like my hero.
Oh, whoa, thanks, man.
That's heavy.
Too
much pressure.
One thing really quick, though, whenever you made all those Nicolas Cage jokes that you look just like him in Con Air,
Yeah.
I never saw Con Air, and then when I saw it, we changed to it on TV, and I legitimately thought he was you.
Blow your mind, right?
I'm like, oh my God, Max is on TV.
So it's bizarre and it's terrible at the same time.
He's not that bad. Just kidding. He's awful.
I'm not going to respond to that.
So I have an interesting question. When I first started Marvel 3, I picked up Wesker because I remember watching a video early, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Wesker's ass. Chun-Li's top tier."
I remember that happening early on. Yeah.
So I picked up Wesker, and I thought this character is great. But then I watched your video, and I realized that my Wesker's a scrub, and I learned my Wesker from you basically, and he's now my best character.
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I am everyone's
I played
best character.
Dormammu too. Okay,
Total
calm down.
global saturation.
No, that's about that actually. Not exactly the best player, but I learned Wesker and am mildly successful with him because of you. Did you ever think that the saturation of Wesker was your fault?
Oh shit. Guys, we got to get out of here.
I could
No, I
take
never. It's funny because I just keep making videos, and I really never consider the impact some of this stuff has if it gets out. That's terrifying. It's terrifying. Me stop using Wesker was not specifically for the reason everyone was using him, was just because I wanted to expand to other characters. And when I was using Wesker, it became predictable. Everybody saw what you were doing because there were so many Weskers at the time, and unless you were super unpredictable, then you had a badass Wesker because Wesker is pretty good.
My other question is for Wesker. How does it feel to be overtaken by a demon in a blue coat and a little robot?
Kind of salty.
I feel it too. When I was playing you got bodied by a Virgil loop twice.
And that guy's got stupid hair.
All right. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Ben.
At least I have hair.
First off, I like everyone else, I really enjoy the system videos, but the Doctor Doom plays Star Wars Connect had me in tears.
Did you watch that?
Yes.
Okay. Did anybody else see Doctor Doom play Star Wars Connect?
To my great regret.
It was terrifying. No, I kind of wanted to do stuff like that. It was literally a moment of we have this game, it is ridiculous, and Doom should be the giant Rancor tearing apart a city. I kind of want to do more stuff like that, but I'm trying to find an equally ridiculous game at the same time. Did you guys like seeing that stuff? What was it? Doom plays Dance Central?
You know what? No, I already went through Star Wars. I'm not going through that hell again.
That's...
Amnesia. I'll walk around in a dark room, something pops out. This is Doom's reaction to Amnesia. Doom doesn't get scared.
Doom plays Amnesia Wasted. That sounds awesome. I think I might actually have to make that happen.
And my question was for Doom. What different settings do you have on your human blender?
Squishy. Bony. Body. Thank you. Max. And extra salty. But that requires a little extra ingredients. Namely a Wesker. You know what? No, I'm not from Warner Brothers Interactive. Sorry. I'm owned by the mouse.
Oh. Poor Doom.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hi there, huge fan.
Thanks,
like
man.
everyone here. I want to say that a lot of people here, said, "Oh, you're my hero," or "really like you," or "big fans." Are you rooting for anyone, or are you a fan of anyone playing Marvel?
Clockwork.
Who's your...
Yeah.
Good choice.
I'm a
Good
fan of
choice.
Clockwork because I've been following Clockwork and trying to mimic his playstyle for since he'd been playing Strider. That's who got me really motivated to play Marvel 2 a lot more, because you see oh man, Strider's totally freaking awesome, but he's really hard to use. No, I definitely always am rooting for Clock whenever I see him because he's like the nicest guy. We asked him to come down. He didn't even know me. He helped me out with like the Strider PSA that we made last year to hopefully like get Strider into Ultimate. And it was hilarious. He was the nicest guy in the world with like James Chen that came down as well. And he's the easiest person to root for because he's like the nicest guy and he plays an awesome team.
That's cool. That's cool. Second question is, you know, you make a lot of Online Warrior videos. During one of your Soul Calibur videos, you said, "Oh man, you know, I love this game. I wish more people played it, or I could spend more time on it."
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel that way about a lot of games. As a Soul Calibur player myself, I'm also kind of sad that there's not more people playing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of your fans, there's a lot of encouragement there, but they also have their own requests. They want you to do this, want you to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe do Caliber less, do Online Warrior, Marvel vs. Capcom more. How do you balance the things you want to do with the decisions and the wants of your fans? Because you have all sorts of personal initiatives like Sega Saturn Saturdays that probably not nearly as popular.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with some games it's a more of like a need to play or like a want to play. Like Dragon's Dogma is a good example of that. Like Dragon's Dogma like didn't sell very well in the States, I think, and it doesn't have the biggest of people following it, but the game's so much like fun and I really enjoy playing through it and watching it. It's the same thing for Third Strike Online Warrior to an extent. Even though some people still watch that and it still gets a fairly good amount of people enjoying it, but at the same time, I hear the equal amount of like Third Strike sucks, and a lot of folks that feel that way. But I love Third Strike, and I love like learning new characters and stuff like that. So I'm not going to stop. So I kind of, like you were saying, balance it out. I try to do the best with the games I want to personally play and the games that I think deserve more attention. If I have like the outlet and an audience of people watching and I think a game deserves more attention, like Soul Calibur or anything like that, then I'll make more content because the game's great.
All right, it's good to hear that you have that kind of integrity, especially because this is now becoming your livelihood.
No.
Just final last question. Wesker, you were drunk on a couch a while ago with Doom, who was also drunk and watching the Resident Evil 6 announcement trailer something. Have you tried to reconnect with your son, make up for lost time? Shown him like your videos?
That's pretty heavy.
As far as I'm concerned, where's the nearest exit?
Thank you.
No, Jake can wait. When he gets a cool haircut and sunglasses, we'll talk.
Father of the Year.
Hello, Mr. Cage.
Hi.
I got three quick questions for you. First of all, how soon would you say we will ever see a hidden DLC for Phoenix and X-23?
It's in the works.
All right.
There's also one in the works for Deadpool.
All right.
And I eventually will be releasing those to the public so people can use them on their videos and such.
All right.
So like the Wesker and the Doom voice acting that you hear when they, foot by foot, I'm so top tier, and stuff like that. I'll give it to everybody and they can use it and make their own videos with it as well.
It'd be hard to make one for Emmy.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult doing one for Emmy. I don't know if it's possible.
Anyway, second question. You ever consider playing KOF 13?
Yes, like absolutely. I get that request so often, and it's interesting when you see the perspective of some folks that are playing fighting games because I have very little King of Fighters experience in the past, and I keep hearing so much about like totally BAMF that KOF 13 is, and it looks awesome, and there's characters I legit want to use, like Kyo and Terry and, guys like that. My history with King of Fighters lives very limited to, like, CVS 2, and CVS 1 and stuff like that, and because it kind of just, like, Street Fighter's better when I was growing up. And when you got to something like CVS 2, I'm like, well, these SNK characters are totally awesome, like Rock and everyone like that. So I got into Mark of the Wolves, and I played that a little bit. I want to get into KOF 13, but it's like intimidating because the online it's not very good online from what I've heard before. I don't know if it's been patched, but a lot of people have told me whenever I ask that the online it doesn't perform well, like it's similar to KOF 12 was.
All you need is 3 and 4 bars, basically.
Okay, so that's good to know because when I've been asking, I actually have a copy of the game because I just bought it because I want to support it, but I just haven't had the time to dedicate to it because I'm trying to keep things going with other games. But if I do it, it'll be something along the lines of helping out the folks that are like me too, that aren't really familiar with KOF as a series before, and have them understand a little bit more about how to get into KOF. There's a video, however, that I would love to promote if I knew the guy's name or the name of the video. A really well done, thought through video about the basics of King of Fighters, and it went over some old like tactics and like short jumping and all this stuff. And it's really thought out. It's like done in pixel format with like the characters talking to you. It's excellent. And is that it? Yeah, Dandy DLC, that sounds familiar. They're awesome, and they're like short videos that go over the basics of KOF, and I just read those, and I'm like, okay, this is where I need to start. And I'll reference people to those videos, and then get started there.
All right. Last question is for each of you, basically, which is what would you do for a Klondike bar?
Snap my fingers.
Oh.
Go to the store and buy one. They're like $1.
I would send an entire tri-cell tactical assault team to recover every single Klondike bar in the world. Have them brought back to my headquarters and dissected for further study.
I just send my husband to go get one.
Oh.
Spoiler alert, Jesus!
You got to be careful. This lady.
Nobody laughed at that, really? This shit was hilarious.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks,
big
man.
big fan of you.
Thank you very much.
Not again.
All right, Max, I got a question. Do you think, I don't know, I pray to God Assist Me never ends, but do you think after Assist Me you'll ever come back to the tournament scene?
Yeah, like if this stuff, like depending on how many responsibilities I have later on when stuff like the show and the multiple other things like Online Warrior episodes and Let's Plays and Week Ofs and stuff like that like conclude, then absolutely. Like if anything, I sit and watch Wednesday night fights because that's the one I would go to frequently at like Super Arcade, and I just get envious of like everybody, and I'm like, dude, I wish so much I was there. And then I switch back to the timeline on Vegas and continue editing and just listen to it in the background. I absolutely do, and a lot of the guys that that were around like constantly are trying to encourage me to get down there and stuff like that. The big challenge is that Super Arcade's pretty far away, but that's not really an excuse. If I can go there, I could. It's just making the choice between doing what I'm doing now and some other responsibilities and going to the tournament, and I have to like kind of like balance that out, like I was saying earlier last year when I had like to make the choice. I feel it's like the same thing. Which one will contribute more, like me going to a tournament, like making the pot bigger, which in turn makes people come there and people would watch the tournament more. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, the stuff I'm doing here has a significant impact on a lot of people, and that means a lot to me. And it means a lot to some folks as well. So I don't know. I kind of like have to set priorities sometimes, but I think I want to get greedy and just start going to stuff and just let people know that I'll be there. And if anything, if they can meet up with like casting characters or stuff like that at like recent majors, that'd be pretty cool.
So we can maybe see you at EVO next year?
At EVO next year? Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. I make it especially like EVO's like Christmas for me. It's like fighting in Christmas. So I make it absolutely, I plan it like weeks and like a year in advance to make sure to be here every single year. And it's been that way since like 2007.
All right. And Wesker, seeing as you wrote this next script, I can only assume Doom's a secondary character.
I'll have you know I go to great lengths to try to make Doom look like an important character in the story. No, actually, I mean, Doom's the easiest character to make awesome.
It's only hard when you're lazy.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but Doom is pretty much all you guys. So he's the heart and soul of the show, and your worst, qualities.
I don't have bad qualities, right? Right.
You don't have bad qualities? Why don't we ever have toilet paper?
The dog ate it.
The dog ate it.
What's up, dude?
Hey, Max. Big fan of the show. My main question is about the Assist Me series and about where you're planning on taking it next. The only reason why I asked that is because I had a friend who was trying to learn Marvel. I tried to teach him. I failed pathetically. And then he saw literally one of your shows. It wasn't even like your first one. It was like just one of your random shows. And he said, screw this. I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm only going to watch Maximilian from here on in.
That seems so weird.
And he has been since. And he's the one that actually tested me and to ask you this question. And that was, do you ever think of doing Assist Me for other video games such as Street Fighter or anything else like that?
Yes, we've actually had stuff in the plans and the works. The challenging thing is that it's this weird situation where with Marvel characters, the big thing that's important to me is like kind of the costumes and how the character looks and feels like a character that you kind of be familiar with, and we could twist them in a way. When it comes to other games, it's like Street Fighter characters, depending on like some female characters like Cammy, we can get like a really good Cammy or something like that. But at the same time, with some other characters like in the Street Fighter and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, game universes, those characters are hard to like costume and look really good. It's kind of difficult to get a really good looking Ryu, with him being like Japanese, but he doesn't look Japanese, stuff like that, like weird stuff like that. But I'm not saying like no to it, because we've actually have scripts specifically for stuff for other games that are like Street Fighter related, and they're not really on the back burner. It's just like with that stuff that happened to us, all of a sudden we are planning it, and we have these things written for the future of the show and how the season 2 will continue. It's just we're trying to figure out how to do it.
And as far as a Kickstarter go, like the last guy said, shut up and just take our money. Seriously.
It's so weird to hear that, but thank you very much, man.
Hey, Max.
What's up, dude?
Hey, my question is about Assist Me and the characters. Not only do you have to produce the show and write the script, but like you said, how you go to the community to learn a character.
Right.
How long would you say it takes you just to learn one character?
A while, because I try to like go to people that know a lot of the time, and go to people that are proficient with these characters that are in the community. And a lot of the times, a lot of these guys are very open because they know about the show and they just want to help. So it's just like, it just shows the spirit of the FGC a lot of the time, where people are trying to help other people. And that's where I try to go to get like solid info, and like SureYouCan.com, guys that I know personally that might know other guys that are like awesome, like top 8 players on almost anything, and they use that character. That's where a lot of the info comes from. For me personally, it's me taking that information and making it presentable. And it's the challenging part when you start going into details about certain things in like fighting games, and having it not sound like, to a person that might be alien to them. They're like, oh, what the hell, I'm getting out of here. They're just super confused by like frame advantage, block stun, what, and they start freaking out. So it's taking things to a base level and trying to make it generally accepted for people that might be playing or not playing the game.
Okay. And one more question. I'm not sure everyone would agree with me because no one sees him online, like hardly. Like sometimes he pops up, but I'd really like to see more Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
If you guys remember in an Online Warrior episode, there was this one evening where it was called the New Age of Spider-Man or something like that. And I ran into like 7 different amazing Spider-Man players, and it's like, oh God, what do I do? And like he's Spencer, but he's got mix-ups. And that's the thing, is that I wanted to make like an episode specifically about that, because Spider-Man's an awesome character. In Ultimate Marvel 3, he's just dwarfed by Spencer. You know what I mean? He does everything very similar move-wise and zipline-wise, but he doesn't get any attention. And that's a lot of the focus of Online Warrior episodes, is that when I come across something like that, I make it a point to be like, this guy is using this amazing character. Check out how awesome this is, to get more of a diverse audience playing different characters. That I'd say for Spider-Man, like that episode is a good testament to that.
Yeah. And one question for, actually not a question, but Wesker.
Yeah.
Even though I use Spider-Man and I'm a big Spider-Man fan, I still don't believe you stole Spider-Man's Maximum Spider, even though they call it Maximum Wesker.
Good man.
All right, thank you, Max.
Thanks, dude.
But you did.
Shut up, Doom.
Hello, Maximilian.
What's up, man?
You know that Frank West? Why didn't you invite me to the zombie fight? Why didn't you invite me?
You would have brought like chainsaws, duct tape to like oars and stuff like that. That'd have been a good idea.
It would have been a gore fest.
A special effect ridden gore fest.
But anyways, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Since you are going to the community, learning about all these techniques about all the characters, and eventually you'll make an entire series, right? So will we be able to combat all the characters in Marvel, technically?
I like covering the whole cast, you mean?
Like, whenever you fight like a character, would you like know their techniques or something?
That's challenging, because that's when you come across something like that, there's so much you can teach to like the mid-level, you know what I mean? When it comes to fighting games and you get to really high competitive tournament levels, like the high-end stuff at EVO, and it doesn't even really become character on character anymore, it becomes player on player. That's where like the really deep stuff of fighting games is, where if you teach that to somebody that is new, they're going to go, what? And it's hard enough to teach them that character-specific things. You fight a character early on, and then you start learning habits and stuff like that about another character or another player. Yeah, like, but I agree with you that it's like having people understand the first step of learning your opposition. The only reason I don't know how to like fight against Spider-Man in those episodes and you get blown up like crazy because I didn't.
Correct.
I forget about these Spider-Man web setups in the corner. It's like, oh god, and you're dead. And you just forget about it. So that's the thing, is to try to educate people that Spider-Man's got this stuff. You know, you should try it out, but you should be aware of it at the same time.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
He's your friend, James.
Hello?
What's up, man?
I always wondered, from the Assist Me costume designs or whatever, I always wondered, how did you design the Ami's weapon or anything?
That's actually designed by one of our other costume designers, Jessica. She designed, like, we've had 4 or 5 of the discs that are actually on Ami's back and her costumes that are actually in the show because he rips through them. And they just fall apart at the end of an episode a lot of the time, and they're just like maimed. And so, yeah, we actually have, you know, one very specific person, Jessica, who works on that stuff, and she does an awesome job training the dog and, you know, making costumes. And she's also my wife, so she's awesome.
One more question for Doom. I don't know if you've already known about this or not, but what do you think of dive kick?
Oh, yeah!
Video game.
There's only one diving, foot dive. All others are imitators to the throne.
Mine is Doom's opinion. Everyone should go to Dive Kick Kickstarter and support the hell out of that game. That game is awesome. It's the funniest fighting game because it gets to the point of fighting games. Like, one hit kill, dead.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
Hello?
Hi, man.
I have a question. Do you continue to do, like, are you planning to continue the Skullgirls?
Yeah, like the Skullgirls. I've actually been asked this a lot, and a lot of folks are requesting like the return of Skullgirls and stuff like that, like some other games they want to include as well. I think Skullgirls is a completely like amazing game. It's fun, it's fast, it's fluid, and it looks so awesome. It hurts when I play it. It's just when I first got into it, it's challenging because I felt like everyone else knew how to play the game but me. And it's like, okay, I can air dash and attack, and I got to figure out what to do beyond that. It was just a bit challenging at the start. I would like to return to it at some point, but it's one of those things, like we were being asked before, like the focus of a lot of different games right now. And I actually had episodes of Skullgirls: The Online Warrior in the works, and I didn't have time to edit them. And that they're still on the back burner. They exist. Like they're actually there. I just have not had the chance to put them in a timeline and audio sync and do all the stuff that editing involves. But no, like a lot of people think Max hates Skullgirls and stuff like that. Max hates anime fighters. It's just I really like Capcom fighting games. Like if you guys have checked out my channel before I started doing any of this stuff, like 3 years before, you'll find nothing but Third Strike, Street Fighter 4, and CVS2 videos. Like I kind of like Capcom fighting games at the same time.
No, I think we covered this in Phoenix episode, Max.
Did we?
Yeah. You don't like playing as girls.
Remember?
Oh, no.
Yeah, remember?
I don't want to talk about it.
Also, I have another question.
Yeah.
About Assist Me, do you plan to do one about Skrull? Because
Skrull's not one of those characters that I get requested for a lot because he's like, you know, you see him every once in a while in a tournament and he's totally awesome and some guy's really good with him. And he's one of those guys that I think deserve more attention because he's good. He's got like, you know, huge command grabs and, you know, a lot of mobility. He's another one of those guys that's also a challenging costume and challenging facial prosthetics and stuff like that. So we're actually moving forward into that area with a lot of future productions and even stuff going on with things like the Taskmaster episode that you're watching now, like facial prosthetics and getting people into full 6-hour makeup and stuff along those lines. The biggest challenge is that we don't shoot on sets or anything like that. We shoot it in a living room, and we just make it appear that the living room is very big, but it's very small. And when it comes to doing things like costume and extensive makeup, like Deadpool's makeup takes 4 hours to put on and to make it look like he's bruised and charred underneath all that mask.